Happy Sunday to you all, friends. Today is the last Sunday of the month, and today's message is centered in love, the greatest of all the commandments. In the book of Exodus 22, from verse 21 to 27, God is warning us because He's seeing what is happening in our nation right now, and He's talking to you and I. He's warning us to stop oppressing the poor, the widows, the orphans, the less privileged in our midst. We keep on pointing accusing fingers to our leaders. I know that our leaders has failed us, no doubt. They treat us like we are not humans. All the fund that they're supposed to use for the poor masses, they use it for themselves. They don't care, they don't love the masses, no doubt. But God is telling you today that He's going to visit you with His wrath, that He's going to make your children fatherless and your wife a widow. When you're oppressing the poor, or molesting molesting people, or doing all sorts of things just because you feel that you're a leader or you feel that you can do it, just know that you are not the owner of your life. Let me bring it down to ourselves. Let's keep our politicians outside this now. We all are leaders wherever we find ourselves. In that little position you are given to lead, in your offices, your business premises, in the marketplace, in the church, in the school, wherever you find yourself, you're a leader. That little position you are given, what have you done with them? Did you use it for the good of the masses or the good of people around you? Or do you use it to inflict poverty, or to molest others, or to make others feel they are not humans? That is the question we are going to answer today. Because when you are there as a leader, you need to have human feeling. You need to have love. You need to do the will of God, not just for yourself, not just being selfish. Only yourself. You don't care about others. If you and I can be a good leaders wherever we find ourselves, I tell you, this nation will be a better place. Because the politicians or our leaders we're talking about here, if we change them, and those coming next, if they don't have that love, if they don't have that human feelings, if they don't have that sympathy on others, they'll still repeat the same thing. So that is why this change, this message is going to start from you and I. Let us adjust. Let us do the right thing at the right time. Let us love one another. Let us stop maltreating the less privileged, the less people. Because you're in a position and you feel like you are God there. You are not. Let me take for instance in Lagos State, for instance, in transportation. If you are going to work in the morning and you use 500 to go to work, and when you are coming back and it rained that day, the transportation will be multiplied to times 2. You're going to spend 1,000. Then you ask yourself, what happened? Why did the transportation increase the same day? Is it your fault that it rained that day? Of course not. So does the distance increase because of the rain? Of course not. Why? People, they'll tell you, of course there's traffic, this and that. That is why those positions you find yourself, those things you know that you can curtail, those things you know that is within your power, do the right thing. Let us start from there to address this. Do the right thing. Then, in today's gospel reading, from the book of Matthew 22, from verse 34 to 40, the Pharisees wanted to test Jesus, to ask him, what is the greatest among the commandments? And Jesus answered them, love. And the love is entered into things, the love of God. You should love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul and strength. And the second one is the love of neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. I believe we if we can love our neighbor, of course we will love God. You can't claim to love God if you don't love your neighbor. You have not seen God before. Your neighbor is the God you are seeing. You don't know how God looks like. How can you say you love God when you don't care about your neighbor? Those things, if it is done to you, it will hurt you. Don't do it to your neighbor. Don't do it to those around you. Though this leadership you are talking about, you are a leader anywhere you find yourself. Lead by example. Let people see your lifestyle as a good and as a child of God. Let people see you as a good leader. If you can say no to maltreating the poor, say no to injustice, say no to brutality, say no to a lot of ill manners in the society, I tell you, corruption, bribery, all those things, if you can say no to them, I tell you, you will pass a message to others, and others will pass a message to others. Before you know it, this nation will be a better place for you and I. Even the whole world will be a better place. Who says you can't make a change? Of course you can. The little one you can, do it. Even if nobody is seeing you, God is watching. God is seeing you. And guess what? He said he's going to visit us. If we don't do the right thing, he's going to visit us with his wrath. Imagine most of us are suffering today because of what our parents did. You live a reckless life, saying that you are the owner of your life, you don't care, you can do anything. Who says? Your life does not belong to you. It belongs to God and your families and your friends and your neighbors. You don't do anything just because you feel like doing them, because of the repercussions. Because those things you do, your unborn children will start suffering for what they don't know about, because of your lifestyle, because of the way you lived. So please, my dear brothers and sisters, let us love our neighbor as ourselves. Let us show love, because this love you are talking about, some people misinterpret this love, some people misquote this love. Some people say love is a feeling. Which feeling? What feeling is that? Feeling what? Okay, some people, feeling, infatuations, what happens if that feeling fails? Those your desire, when it fails, what happened? You hate, right? Love is beyond feeling. It's about sacrifice. It's about caring for one another. It's about making a huge sacrifice for others. That is love. That is what love entails. It's about that feeling, because that your feeling will fail one day and you start hating, right? Sacrifice yourself. If you know you have not eaten and you are eating, your neighbor is not eating, you are enjoying your food, you cannot share with your neighbor. In fact, I don't know how to put it so that we will understand it, but I pray that God in his infinite mercy will give us wisdom so that we will understand what this love is, because we always misinterpret this love, misquote it, misjudge it in different ways. Please, let us care for one another. Let us be there for one another. Let us make a sacrifice for one another. That is what love is all about. Care for your neighbor, care for your family, care for your friends. Sacrifice. That is truly what love is all about. It's not about that feeling, because that feeling will fail one day. So please, let us join hands together and ask God to help us, especially in this nation, to make the face of this nation to be anew, to raise up for us a good leader that will lead us to that promised land. So please join me as I cry unto God to listen to our prayers and give eternal rest to our departed brothers and sisters. Shukuna biko nurariranyo onye nwe biko nuronu mugi mgbanwụwa na-atụgharị anyị ka ebiri mmiri. Chineke zọpụta anyị o. Chukwunna biko nụrụ arịrịọ anyị o. Onye nwe biko nụrụ akwa ụmụ gị. Mgbe ọnwụnwa na-atụgharị ha n'ike ebiri mmiri, Chineke zọpụta anyị o. Ka anyị kpee ekpere maka ndị ọchịchị anyị o. Ha ghọrọgo ndị ogbu aṅụ ọbara na-egbusi ndị fa na-achị o. Ezi Chineke, biko metụnụ ha aka o, ka ha bụrụ ndị ndu, ghara ịbụ ndị ọchịchị. Anyị arịọ gị dị nwenu, anyị arịọ gị biko dị nwenu o. Chukwunna biko nụrụ arịrịọ anyị o. Onye nwe biko nụrụ akwa ụmụ gị o. Mgbe ọnwụnwa na-atụgharị anyị ike ebiri mmiri, Chineke zọpụta anyị o. Ka anyị kpee ekpere maka ụmụ Naịjirịa ndị tụfuru ndụ ha maka ọdịmma nke anyị o. N'ọnwa Ọktoba, ụbọchị 20 n'ime afọ 2020, ezi Chineke biko nye ha ezumike n'alaeze gị n'eluigwe. Were ebere gị biko nabata ha Chimo. Were ọbara ha biko sachaa obodo anyị, mee ka ọ dị mma ma dịkwa ọhụrụ. Anyị arịọ gị dị nwenu, anyị arịọ gị biko dị nwenu o. Chukwunna biko nụrụ arịrịọ anyị o. Onye nwe biko nụrụ akwa ụmụ gị. Mgbe ọnwụnwa na-atụgharị anyị ike ebiri mmiri, Chineke zọpụta anyị o. Ka anyị kpee ekpere maka udo n'ala anyị o. Eze ndị eze, sọ gị bụ eze udo. Wetara anyị udo n'ime Naịjirịa, ka anyị dịrị n'otu ma birikwa n'udo. Mee ka ihe gị chakwasị anyị, nye anyị ezi onye ndu ga-eduru n'anyị o. N'alaeze ahụ ikwere anyị na nkwa o. N'ala ọma ahụ ikwere anyị na nkwa o. Anyị arịọ gị dị nwenu, anyị arịọ gị biko dị nwenu o. Chukwunna biko nụrụ arịrịọ anyị o. Onye nwe biko nụrụ akwa ụmụ gị. Mgbe ọnwụnwa na-atụgharị anyị ike ebiri mmiri, Chineke zọpụta anyị o. Chukwunna biko onye nwe biko nụrụ akwa ụmụ gị o. Mgbe ọnwụnwa na-atụgharị anyị ike ebiri mmiri, Chineke zọpụta anyị o. Chineke zọpụta anyị o. Heavenly Father, we ask you to raise up for us a good leader that will lead this nation to that promised land and make the face of this nation to be anew. We beseech thee, O Lord, Lord, hear our prayers.